The new year is upon us, and it's really exciting because at this time I feel like everyone goes through just a little bit of reflection and goal setting. But when we look at goal setting, a lot of us set these awesome goals, and then I think the statistic shows only about 8% of people actually stick with and try to achieve those goals. Patrick and I personally own a gym, and we see this firsthand. It's everybody is so motivated, they've got these goals and they want to just smash them, and then within 30 to 60 days they're kind of back into those old habits. So I think it's important to know, one, what is your why? When we set goals, goals are going to trigger new behaviors. They're going to help guide us, and they're going to keep us motivated each day to help us sustain positive momentum in our life, even when things get hard. There's certain things that you can do to help you stay on track when you set these goals. I personally have set some very lofty goals when it comes to my personal life, my career, and then also athletically. And I've been able to achieve those year after year. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple tips on things that I do when it comes to goal setting to make these goals smart goals. So the first thing is specific. What exactly do you want to achieve with this goal? You want to be specific so we can kind of hone in on that goal. From there, measurable. How are you going to track your progress toward this goal? Each day, whatever you can do, because if we have these small checkpoints each day to where we can continue tracking our progress towards this specific goal, that's going to really help. We want to set an attainable goal. What does attainable mean? It just means, is this realistic for you and where you are in your life? Right? You have to be very realistic and evaluate, okay, what is it going to take to get me to my specific goal? How can I track my progress? And is this attainable? If you believe so, then awesome. You're on track to crush your goals. The next piece is going to be looking at the relevance of your goal. Why are you doing it? For me, the biggest thing that I like to evaluate is how much does this goal mean to me? So maybe even on a scale of 1 to 10. If it's closer to that 1 or 2 and you don't really care that much, you're probably gonna fall off. If it's something you care so much about and that you are motivated and you are driven and you're gonna do whatever it takes to succeed, you're setting yourself up on the right foot. And then I like to set time-oriented goals. So that just means that within X amount of time, you can do long-term goals, you can do short-term goals, but having a date to achieve this specific goal really keeps you motivated and it keeps you driven each and every day. You have to remember you will have highs and lows when it comes to your goals. Goals give us clear sight of what it is we want to achieve. They keep us motivated, they give us the purpose, and they keep us driven each day to help us stay on track. One of my big goals, you guys know, is making it to the CrossFit Games every year. So I've made it 6 consecutive years in a row. That is something that has been a huge goal of mine each year. To do that, you have to make sacrifice. So when I look at my season and I look at the plan, there is a time when all of a sudden it's like, okay, the switch is on, we are in season now. And what that means is I'm gonna have to sacrifice things. That means I'm not staying out past 9 p.m. I'm usually in bed by 9 p.m. I'm grocery shopping and I'm food prepping every Sunday just to make sure that everything I need is ready. It's convenient in the fridge so I can not only focus on my training, but my nutrition is prepped and taken care of. When it comes to training, each day is scheduled into blocks. I can't just show up and think, oh, I'll just do this today and then I'll get closer to my goal. Each day I have to show up with focus, intent for each of the pieces. So when I look at my day, I've got it completely blocked out into lists. This time, my phone's on Do Not Disturb. I'm training from, let's say, 8 to 10. Then I will have my recovery shake, then I'll take a break, and then I will train again from, let's say, 1 to 3. If there's a third session in there, I will do it. I have lists, I'm checking everything off, and just focusing on the small things each day. So my point with all of this is it's great to have a goal, but you have to have a plan in place to help you achieve that goal. Writing the goal down is one thing, but understanding and setting these small things in place, like scheduling your time in to do your workout if your goal is to get stronger. You have to do those things. You can't just decide, oh, this day I'm gonna do this and this day I'm gonna do that and not track your progress. I write down every single piece that I do and we build off of each piece each week based upon how I feel. Nutrition's the exact same. I log everything that I'm putting into my body. We pay attention to the signs of under eating, to the signs of feeling tired. We adjust as we need to. If we're not tracking and we're not paying attention to our progress, if we don't have a plan laid out, but we just write this goal down, then it's a little bit abstract and we're not setting ourselves up to achieve that goal.
Christy and I own a gym. And though there's always an influx of people during the beginning of the year, we have people join all year long. And we find that there are 3 things that if people are willing to listen to and understand, it gives them a drastically better chance of success. The first thing is trying to get people to understand that consistency over time equals results. And no matter what your goal is or what it's related to, jumping in both feet a lot of times isn't the best idea, whether the objective is to run a marathon or maybe clean up your diet. If you were to go from not running to running 26 miles at a time, there's not a good likelihood that that's going to be sustainable very long. Higher probability of getting hurt. Chances that you keep that up probably isn't great. The same thing would be for a diet. If you go from not maybe eating the best to cutting everything completely out all at once. So what we suggest for people is starting small with maintainable steps. So if your objective is to go to the gym or work on your fitness, we start with 2 days a week. Or if it's a diet, maybe we're cutting out 2 portions. We're cutting out sugar and milk or whatever it is. But we start cutting things out 1 portion at a time or start adding things in little by little. It makes it a whole lot easier to be maintainable. You can see yourself achieving some goals, allow yourself to feel better, and then build off of those. Whatever your goals are, almost anything worth achieving is not going to happen quickly. So thinking about things in a long term tends to be helpful, and breaking them down into smaller achievable portions is going to be a little bit more maintainable to keep that trajectory going to where there isn't a fall off. The second thing is having structure and a plan. So it's great to have big goals, but sometimes it can get confusing of how to actually get there. And I think people get lost in the mix of where I am now and where this big goal is that I want to achieve. And instead of focusing entirely on this big goal that may be far away down the road, I can work on one portion of that goal that's going to get me a little closer. Now there's the next thing on that list that I get to work on, that I get to then check off, that gets me a little bit closer to that goal. The third thing is going to be accountability. So whether it's you, something you've got, or somebody else in your circle, you need something that's going to hold you accountable to the steps that you're laying in place to make sure that you're working towards that goal. So we do think that it's helpful to tell somebody, whether it's a coach, a trainer, a friend, somebody that at least knows what you're trying to achieve, so that if you're veering off that course, maybe they can ask like, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? Are you still making steps in that direction? Accountability can also be a program. It can be a spreadsheet, something that you're checking off to where you can even hold yourself accountable, something that you can look at on paper and see, am I checking the things off that I know I need to be doing, or am I not? An example of how Christy and I did this was the month of December. It's a busy month for us, so we set a goal to hit 2,000 calories on a assault bike, 2,000 box step-ups, and 2,000 sit-ups. And some things that we did to set this up is we, 1, set up a Google Sheet. 2, we had each other to hold each other accountable. And within that Google Sheet, we had tallies. So every time we got closer to this goal, if I did 100 box step-ups, I'd go into that Google Sheet. I could mark it in there. The Google Sheet would then tally how close I was getting with our end result. I was also able to see what Christy was doing, and she was able to see what I was doing, which led to some incentive. And for us, 2,000 seemed like a big number, especially on top of what we're already doing. But we found that getting in there, having a physical goal, something to look at, and each other to hold each other accountable, we far exceeded what we had actually set, and it became fun and just part of the routine. I think without that setup or doing it individually, it probably would have been easy to fall off. But you need to have a plan, a structure, reach out to people who have maybe done what you were looking to do as a goal. Somebody who's either been to the CrossFit Games or somebody who goes to the gym all the time. Touch base with people. Other people have done it. They've got information that can be helpful. Don't blindly make mistakes that somebody could prevent you from doing because they've already made those mistakes. We're excited for you guys. Leave in the comments what your goals are for this year, how you plan on achieving them. And if anybody has any interest in learning how to set up a spreadsheet like this, I'm more than happy to help you guys do that. It's super simple. We can put a little video together for that. Thanks for watching. Smash the like button, smash your 2022 goals, and keep up all the hard work.
Don't touch your pavement when I'm walking the streets. I know you're feeling the heat. Believe it, I'm stopping